Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We're going to be talking about managing and marketing new listings with Wise Agent. And so Lindsay and his team, what they do, we'll be talking a little bit about what they do with their listings and how they do that. And it's a little unique to their area as well. So that's why we were talking a little bit about the town that he's in. And then I'll go over and show a demo on how you can promote your listings on social media and what you can be doing as well. So I am, I'm happy to kind of show that demo and any other questions that you may have. So please use our chat, use our Q&A. If you're on Facebook with us, I see several people on Facebook. If you have any questions in there, from watching us there, please, and I'm looking down here because that's where my phone is, so I can see the Facebook Live there. If you have any questions, feel free to post them there as well, and we'll get those answered for you as well. All right. So Lindsay, why don't you start us off and tell us a little bit how you and your team use Wise Agent right now in your listings?
Well, we, when we get a listing, we first populate that information into the Wise Agent property module and in the property list. My feeling is that that's kind of the base that you start with in Wise Agent, that you would you get your listing and then all your data goes into the property list, and that way you get your address, all your pictures, any notes that you have. You can play around with the description in there without first posting it into to the MLS system. And so once all that's populated, all that information is there for the history. And then you can go from that property list, and you can there's links down there that will take you to setting up the flyer from there. I'm
just going to share my screen while you're saying this, because this is the property list that Lindsay's talking about, and then I'll go into what it looks like to edit a property where you would be able to fill in all of this information.
Yeah, you can see all the pictures there, and then you can set up your checklist from there. So everything flows out of the property list when we get a listing, and we use it as the base. We don't put anything into the MLS until we get that property list filled out the way we want it. And then, there's other things that you can use out of that as well. But, we click on the, if we have any vendors that might be associated with that listing, like for, setting up, setting up the showing, we add them in, and but the main thing is to get it set up. That's your base.
Yeah. And this is, so this is great for you to be able to, just put in all of your, descriptions, put everything in here that you would want, which would possibly also be in on your flyer, just so, and things for you, so if someone's calling you, asking you questions about this, it's all kind of in this one area for you to be able to refer back to the description, so you're not forgetting any of the details that are really important. And I know you guys do one unique thing that you guys even, Lindsay, we were talking the other day, you said that you put in some properties in your property list, even if they're not your listings.
We do. In Texas, you have to get permission to do that. That may be different in other states, but every so often we'll get an agent that will want to get the word out that he's got maybe a property that's investment property, or could be something else. But we'll go ahead and put it in with the permission of that agent, and we'll blast it out on a flyer as well.
Yeah.
And
so you can put in the broker's information here. So there's even a spot for that where you can put all of that information about the listing agent, if it's other than yourself, in here, which is great. And then of course, showing attached contacts. I really love this part because knowing who's attached to this property. So you can put in the relationship, you know, if the previous owners, maybe they're the tenant, this is maybe an interested party of this property. This is all something, you know, it's really nice, and you can add a connection to, you know, to this contact. So you can say this, you know, property 123 Main Street, you know, it's tenant occupied, or you can see that really quickly, and keep track of who those tenants are, or and whatever that you need. So there is a lot of that for you in here. And then I think you also mentioned the checklist. So you can have your checklists in here. You know, a lot of people use this. I think this is a great way to use it if you're in a multiple offer situation. You want to keep track of everything, you know, which offer is you know, being submitted, which one's being accepted. And then if it's not accepted, then you can go ahead and rename it and say unaccepted for whatever reason, and let it fall through. But you can create checklists for your listings that would be attached here really quickly and easily. And then our property flyers, which I know, Lindsay, you guys are utilizing these quite a bit, right?
Yeah, we do. We send out property flyers. In fact, we get that the way we want it to look, and then we'll send those out about every 2 to 3 weeks. We don't want to bombard everybody on our mail list with the same properties, you know, but we also we can send out, you know, Wise Agent has the ability to go in and do a blast email with properties as well. And so we can put, you know, 3 or 4 properties on that. And, you know, that's a little bit different system, but that works very well too. And
yeah. And I love that. That one's one of my favorite things that our developers created, because it's a really nice thing. So you can create a whole email, a whole portion of your email in here. And I'll just grab maybe a newsletter, right? So I'll just say this is my December newsletter that's going to go out. And this has been saved. And now at the end of my newsletter, I want to have like maybe some featured listings that I want to include, because I know that a lot of the emails that I send out, because I'm going through my reports and I'm seeing that people are reading my newsletter, I want them to also see my featured listings. So, and that's a really good, way of getting the word out there about these properties. So you can add one, or you can add multiple things in here. We'll include this one from Hawaii. Let's see what that property looks like. And so now you can come in here and you can adjust this as you see fit, like, oh, maybe this is way too long, or whatever you want to do. But you can adjust these as you see fit and put them where you think it's appropriate. I just put this in the bottom of the newsletter, but it comes out, and when it goes out into your email, it looks really nice where at the end of it, you can have your featured listings in here.
it's another good reason to have all that information populated in the property list, because it's just a no-brainer to flow it all the way through. But
right,
it's not going to happen without being that property list.
Yeah. And I know so do you train your agents and your admin, like, this is the process, this is the way it goes? Or are you using one of our checklists to say, like, every time a listing is added, you know, that you get a listing, this is how, these are the steps that you'll take to promote it?
Yeah, we do. We use the checklist. We make it a very detailed checklist. And I mean, it's got, in the very beginning, it's got the simplest things that you would do on there. And, maybe some people would think, well, I don't need to know that. I always remember that. But anyway, on there, you check it off, and that way, it's done. You don't have to worry about it. And then everybody sees it as well. So, we've got we have 2 other agents, and then we've got our assistant it's a transaction coordinator. So, we're all on the same checklist for a property, and I can come in and pull it up and see where we are and who's talked to who, and the notes file at the very end of it. It's all there, and all the information's there that you need. So makes it very, very easy.
Yeah. And that, um, I'm gonna just show what that looks like, what our checklist look like as well. And before I do that, I just wanted to say, because there's been a couple of questions on if this is being recorded. This is being recorded just like all of our other webinars. So if you do have to run, no worries. We're going to be recording this and we'll send out an email with the recordings for you at some point today.
I might say too, on those checklists, Lonnie, take get a blank piece of paper and write down everything that you want done on that listing from beginning to end. And, you can put anything in there. Just start off with one of the templates that Wise Agent has and, call it up, name it whatever you want. And then you can go ahead and transfer all your notes and things into that list, and then you can fine tune it. It's real easy to move around. That's one thing I like about it, is that you can, move each line item, place it in a different position, and you can put in there how many days this has to happen before closing, before closing. We, on our checklist, we put the listing in there, and then we also put the closing in there. So we have one checklist to put the listing in, and then we come on down and we put a new subheading in there, and we put the closing in there. So it's all in one checklist. And
so you have one checklist for both the listing and the closing, or do you have
closing? Yeah.
Okay.
We just found that that's easier for us as to have different lists for the closings.
Right. And you can certainly do that. And then we also have, I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with this, but we have this thing called a parent checklist, because there are some people I know that have two separate checklists per listing, right? So you have your listing checklist, and then you have the actual, buyer or the sellers, once it goes through there's a buyer for that property. And you can kind of link these and have a parent-child relationship with this. So you can definitely, do that as well, which I think is a really great way of combining them together. One thing I know, I heard this the other day, someone had asked me, so my checklists are kind of like, I've been using them for a while, and some of my steps have changed, and maybe this isn't the greatest template to use. But and what I want to delete it, but I can't delete any of your templates. And well, you won't be able to delete any of your templates if they have, like these here, this one for a blog post. I can delete this template because there are no checklists associated to it. Now, this one here, this buyer one, I have 173 buyer transactions with this template. So I will not be able to delete this template. So if I ever need to edit that, saying like, oh, there's some tasks in here that I no longer need to be doing, so I don't need to see this lease anymore. I have a couple of options. So I can either hide this one task, right? All I have to do is uncheck that little eyeball there. Or I could just go into my template and I can just create a duplicate template. And before any transactions are added to it, I can adjust and I can remove, doing this and doing that and doing whatever. So I could remove those hidden ones. But once there's a template that has checklists associated with it, you can't delete that template. So we've done that for, obviously for the integrity of your data, as well as, just making sure that everything is, all of your data is stored. If you were to try to delete this with a checklist, the system wouldn't allow you, just because of that reason. So that's why we've made these hidden and shown for you. So I wanted to kind of talk about that. I don't think we really have ever gone through that in, at least in one of my webinars. So I wanted to.
If you go through your template and you want to make you can make adjustments on the template, and then it'll flow through to all the checklists. Right. So if you want to delete something that you're just not using, you can keep the template and check off something that you want to delete out of that template, and it'll change it on your checklist. I think that's right, correct?
Well, so you can, when you're in the checklist, so if you're in here and let's say this lease, I no longer want to see that, but I never unhid, like I never hid it from the template itself. I could just go in here and just keep saying NA, and I can just keep doing that going forward. Or I can go into the template instead of like, this is an NA thing, like I'm not going to be doing this. I could actually just hide that from the actual template and then not have to deal with that NA going forward, because I know every single time I'm going to be disregarding that. So, so most definitely, that's how that would work. And I know we have a couple of questions. So one is, do you have to create the checklist, or are there pre-existing ones? And if they're pre-existing ones, can you modify them? So that's a great question. So we have templates available for you. So these are the default templates. So we have a buyer's, a commercial listing, lender, seller, short sale listing, title, and escrow. And so what you would do is you would be able to take this, seller listing, and you could add it as your template. And then once you add it as your template, you could go in here. Let me do short sale one. I don't think I have that one. So I can go ahead and I can save this, and now I can go in here and adjust it. We've created these templates for you, and you can, so there's all these different dates, and you could come in here and say, oh, well, this one's this isn't really a notice of default date. This isn't really a thing, or whatever it is. I don't know. You can delete whatever it is that you need to delete. And so then you can come in here and add to it or delete from it, as well as the task. So these are fully editable templates that you can use. So I can come in here and add more things to it. So that's how that would work. That's a great question. And so a follow-up to that is, can you merge the dates from a contract with your template? Can you merge the dates from a contract with your template? I'm not really sure what you mean by that, Ernie. So if you want to kind of explain that a little bit further, that would be great. But one of the other questions that I noticed too was, when you put the price of a house, will it populate in your dashboard? Yes. So if I come in here and I say, this Emerald Street, and I say this is a buyer, I say it's pending, I can put in here the amount, I can put in my commission, and all of this stuff is in here. I can put in the projected close date, and I'll say this is for Ross. Now I can click on save. When I go into my commission report here, and I can go to my sale list, I can see now on Ross, here's Ross, that $100,000 property. Okay, so that does all flow together. And then our commission report is also linked to our goal tracker, which I think is also a really nice thing, how everything is kind of connected within one another. So once I update my commission or my checklist with that commission in there, it'll also update it on my goal tracker. And I know we're not talking about goals today, but I wanted to point that out, that it's all connected. Are you guys using that, Lindsay? Are you guys using the commission tracker?
Yes, we do. We
Yeah.
do. Yeah. Yeah, I like to see what everybody's doing. It's great, and we do have our goals and points that we want to hit first, second, third, fourth quarters, and no, it's great. We love it. Yeah. It's just it's so automatic that once you transact coordinator keeps track of that, and at any time, I can pull it up, take a look, and see what everybody's doing. And I love it.
Yeah. And someone's asking, can the checklist be easily printed out? And it can. This is one of, I hate printing things, but sometimes occasionally I do print things, but you can print or email the summary. And what I love about this portion, what we did is because a lot of this stuff, some of it is like, oh, I don't want, the buyer or the seller of this transaction or whoever I'm sending this to necessarily see this portion of it. So I can come in here and say like, oh, I don't want them to see this, or I don't want them to see any of these, this whole entire thing. So I can come in here and I can say like, hey, this is where we're at. And I can, print this out really quickly. So only the checklist tasks are shown, or, the specific tasks that I want shown are shown. And then I can go ahead and print this out or email it. So and then I can just, with a click of this button, I can send an email. It will include the checklist report in here. And then I can put in my message here and send this out as an email as well.
RTC, she uses that to send out reports every Monday, and
Okay.
or any other time that we feel the need, and it's just great. Populates the email, and our clients love it, and you can go. Some people like the web portal too. It's especially the people that are involved in other aspects of the sale. Maybe the inspector or something like that, or the lender.
Right.
We can send them a link to that, and they can kind of keep track of it. Some of them use it, some of them don't, but
Right.
the email of the report is great.
Yes. Yeah, that is, I think that's a really, it's a really good way. And we use it here internally. So we use Wise Agent internally to run
Yeah.
our business. And so I use the checklist task for everything, adding new agents to, or new employees to our roster here. I go through a checklist. I have a checklist of things that I need to do. So that would also be something that, for brokers out there that like yourself, Lindsay, when you're adding a new agent, what does that all entail? All the steps that you need to do, that it just checklists in general are a great way of keeping you on task, on track, and, to keep you, having all of your items completed in a timely fashion. That's really important.
I might add too that there's a lot of programs here, and take take 15 minutes. You can do this several ways. You can take 15 minutes a week and just study one of these modules, play around with it. You can take 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day and do it. That's usually kind of what I do.
Yeah.
And then, or take 5 minutes a day and watch one of the videos. The videos are great. They're mostly around 5 minutes long, and I was telling Lainey the other day, I watch those videos sometimes. I've watched some of them 7, 8 times just because I want to make sure that I understand how to do this. I'm kind of the guy that likes to put all of it together and study it, and then that way I've got the ability to train others on what's going on. That's just how I do it. I've done that for a long time on any software that I've used in my previous business life, and I like to know it first, and then we can get through questions and things of that nature real fast. But take some time to learn it. It's not software that you can just get it up and running and have everything flowing and all that within the first week. It just doesn't work that way, but it's very, very simple if you just take your time.
Yeah, we try and make it as intuitive as possible. I mean, so my background is in technology. And one of the things is that, I understand technology pretty, and I can become pretty familiar with software pretty quickly, but I understand that not everyone holds a degree in computer science, and, and everyone learns differently. And so one of the things that we try and do here is, being aware of that. So if you go to our help drop down, you'll see we have a knowledge base for everyone that wants to just search something and get the quick answer right there and then. They can just do that. But then we also have our online classes. So we have weekly or daily classes actually. So we have one later on today in a half hour that's starting, one with a full overview, and we have one tomorrow. And then we also have, you can just contact us. We post our phone number, our email, or you can submit this form, and someone will reach out to you within 10 minutes. So we have all sorts of tools. And then what Lindsay was talking about is the video tutorials. So we try and make, these videos 5 minutes or less, so then everyone can really learn what it is that they're wanting to learn. So it's really specific about that one thing. So
Tell you
and we
what,
have a-
I want to plug Wise Agent too, just for the customer service, because we've obviously used other CRMs in the past, but the service blows me away. It really does. You can call them, or we don't ever call them. We just email them, and we have never got an answer back it's never taken more than 10 minutes to get an answer back. And and plus it's 24/7. I still don't get that, how you do that, but it's unbelievable service. And so you can get a lot of things done real quick just by talking or emailing back and forth. They'll get things, they'll get you a quick education on something if you need it.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Yeah, I love our support staff. They are fantastic. And I tell them every day, they always make me look good, especially on these webinars, because they do an amazing job. So if you don't believe me, try it out for yourself. Call us, email us, and you'll be pleasantly surprised in the experience that you receive. I know I've got a lot of questions happening all at the same time here, so I'm gonna do my best to try and answer them all. I know that I had promised that I was gonna do a demo on how to take a listing and then share it on social media. So I'm gonna do that right now. And I'm gonna share my screen here one more time. Minimize some of these other things that are open. I'm going to go to our landing pages. So I'm going to just take one of our landing pages, and I'm going to have this as, a property that that we've got a single property page that we're going to be promoting on social media. So it's really easy to use one of our templates. You just create this, take this template, and then you can edit it. And our templates have like the dimensions of the image size in here that's appropriate for those boxes. So you can see this is a 500 by 333. You can use any software like Canva or whatever. If you're not using Canva as a realtor, I strongly urge you to do so, because it's such a great program.
It is a great program.
It is, and very easy to use. But so you can come in here and upload all of your images and just do whatever it is that you place all your text in here, and just make this as however you want it to be. The most important part about a landing page or a squeeze page, or whatever kind of page you want to whatever you want to call this, is that you have this portion right here. This is your form. You want to have your form. You want to be able to capture their information, and you need to have some kind of call to action. So schedule a showing today. So this is something that you want to have, something that really draws their attention, right? So you're going through this, and it's beachfront property in Arizona. That doesn't look like an Arizona house at all, but that's okay. We'll just go with it. But so you put in your pricing, you put in all your pictures, and really convey this thing, and then even anchor it with a video, maybe and this looks like it would be something in your neck of the woods, Lindsay, but it would be something that you could put in a video in here as well, and then this form. And the whole goal is to get people to sign up for this and schedule this showing, right? And so once you have edited this to your liking, what you'll do is you'll go ahead and share this out. And so you can use a bit.ly link here, this short link. You can use just the regular page URL. I love doing a few things with this. So one, I would take this short URL, I would copy and paste it. Let me go to my contacts. And I know I said I was going to show the social media, and I'll do that in a second. And I'm going to just go in here, and I'll sort through my categories of people and maybe find all my buyers. And I'm going to send a text message to them saying, hey, this is a property that I think you'll love. And I'll say, hi, so-and-so, whatever their name is, I think you're going to love this property. Maybe if I've created that flyer, I'll attach that flyer, or maybe that video. I can attach a video as well. And then I'll go ahead and send this out to everybody. So that's kind of like step one of promoting it. That you can take, or one of the steps that you can take. The other step that you can take is you can connect it to your Facebook. And I think I have to share my whole screen actually. So hold on, let me do that. All right, so here, can you see where it says Facebook? And so here I'm logged into this Rachel Green Facebook post, and I can just say whatever it is, this is my listing. And I can talk all about this, and I can put this on my news feed. I can put it on my story. I could do both. I can change this to be on someone's timeline. I can share it in a group that I belong to. I can create an event. So if I'm promoting maybe an open house, this would be appropriate to maybe create an event and share that event. I could also share this on a page that I manage. So if I have a business page, I want to probably share it there. And of course, you can share it in a private message. So for this purpose, I'm just gonna post it here, and I'll post to Facebook. And let me refresh Facebook, and you'll see here it is. So just now, this is my listing, and now I can come to this page and it will take me to that squeeze page. So this is a great way. So if I posted it to a community that I belong to, like, homes for sale in my area, right, on Facebook, now I can just make a little post saying, hey, if you're interested in a great property, this is one I think you need to check out, right? And people could either message you, obviously, through that, or they can just fill out that landing page that you could share that to their friends, to their spouses, to whoever, and then you can get, some traction from there. And that's a great way of kind of a good first step if you're not already using Facebook marketing or any kind of social media marketing that you can be using. And of course, using that, those URLs, that short URL, the regular URL, you can post that on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and works the same way. So I know there's a lot of questions flying in. So let me see, how did you share the landing page to Facebook? I didn't see how you did that. So there's just that little, there's an icon there that will just say post to, it doesn't even say post to it. It just has a little Facebook thing right here. So just right here, and then it pops up, and it pops up in another window. So when I'm sharing just one screen, it doesn't show it all. And so if you click on that, you can even change it to only post to yourself. So that's something that you should try. Is there a way to feed this to an agent's website under my listings? Definitely. So you can take this and you can also embed that landing page. So there's an embed code here, and all you have to do is just kind of embed that into the back end of your website, and it will just have it iframed into that. We also have WordPress plugin, and you can do all sorts of things with our WordPress plugin as well if you wanted to have that option. But making it so the WordPress plugin would be more aligned with the look and feel of your website, where this would look completely different, but it is still embedded into your website. Another question here, when someone fills out the call to action section, does it pull into Wise Agent as a lead? That was what I was getting to next, Beth. So let's say someone sees this on Facebook, they fill out the form. What happens next? Well, before you post it, one of the things that you should be doing is a couple of things that you should be doing. One, you should be thinking about what's your message going to be once they fill out that form. What are you going to say to them? And that comes in the form of, either an email or a text message, and then also your marketing drip campaign. I know what our marketing team does here is they think about in the opposite way. They think about let's say the listing. And then what you start thinking about is, how are you going to describe it and describe yourself to somebody that maybe is just coming and meeting you for the first time or seeing this property for the first time. So creating that drip campaign would be the first step. The second step would be to create a lead rule for that property. So let's say it's, 123 Main Street. I can add it to a drip campaign that I've created. And then this is where that cool, exciting part happens is once they fill out the form, you can set it up where it automatically emails them a response. And this is just one of our canned responses. You can put something else in here. And then you also have the choice of course, sending a video response or adding images and YouTube links and whatever in here, including a CMA if you'd like to. But then you also have the choice of auto sending them a text message. So either one or both. And in this example, we have a text message that went out that includes the property flyer that we created for this property. And so that's a really cool thing. And then you can also get notifications. That's that next step. So then if you are available, you can call them right away. But in case you're not available, the autoresponders is happening and you're not having to, because that's speed to lead is really important. You have 2 minutes or less to contact them before the lead goes on to something else. So you really want to make sure that the notifications are always on, because that would be really important to help you convert those leads. All right. Ooh, I talked a lot. So Lindsay, I know that's not something that you guys are currently using, right?
We are not. We want to. One of our issues this year, I'm sure everybody else has had the same problem during this horrible time we've been going through. We thought we probably wouldn't be that busy toward the beginning of the year, but it's been just the opposite. We've been snowed under, and ever since about May. And so we just haven't had time to go through some of these modules, and the ones that are very important, we've got those up and running and love it. And we're going to start on the landing pages probably in the next couple of weeks when we just get a little breather. But I'm anxious to do that. We are a referral based company, so we do not purchase leads, but we do want to do our landing pages and things. And the Facebook, that module is great. We've used that a few times and just to play with it. But we do quite a bit of Facebook, and right now we're using another company to input things into that. But that's going to change. We're going to switch that over to Wise Agent fairly soon. But that's probably one of the things that we're remiss on right now. I wanted to get back to checklists for just a second.
Yeah, sure.
When making up your checklist, and especially for a broker, but this could be anybody, go to put things on there that you don't want to do. I wrote that.
That's
list.
a great one.
I put things in the checklist and assign it to others, which you can do. Yes. And I go in and I look at those tasks. You can call up your task list, and you can call it up by agent, however you want to, and call it up by checklists, and you can see the things that are assigned to everybody, and if they've done it or not. You don't have to go into the checklist.
Right.
So I love that feature. But I just wanted to tell everybody that, they're always wondering about things that they should be doing. Well, think about the things that you don't want to do either, so.
That is so true.
And there are a lot of things that will waste your time.
Yeah. And this is one of the things. So this is an example. So if you're like, gosh, I really don't want to be bothered with, doing some of these tasks, you can just, put in here, add this to the task list. You can assign it to somebody on your team. Lindsay does have does use our team functionality within Wise Agent. And if you're not familiar with that, Wise Agent does allow you to have up to 5 team members under one username and password for that low price of $29 a month. If you wanted to have permissions for them, that's to give them different logins. You also have that ability as well. So I can assign this to Phoebe Buffet. And now anytime that I'm doing a seller's residential checklist, Phoebe is going to get, you know, an email saying on whatever 2 days after the list date. So whatever date that I set up this checklist. So let's say the date is today, I start it and the list date is today. In 2 days, which is, I believe, the 18th, she's going to get an email today saying, you've been assigned this task to order the signs that is due on the 18th. And so that's really nice as well, because then you're keeping everyone kind of in the loop, and you don't have to tell them to do it. They can either, they'll get the notification, or they can come in and look at their checklist or at their tasks to see what assignments they have. So yes, one of the things is, does the checklist populate to the task list for a particular contact? So yeah, so if I go to our task list here, you can see it'll say like, this is add a form, and this is for this orange box indicates that it's a checklist. It's attached to a checklist, and this is the person that it's associated with. So when I go to their contact record, here's everything about Mike Miller, and you know, you'll see this these tasks listed in here, right here. So I can see all the tasks that were associated.
Really, the easiest way is to go to the task list and just pull it up by agent or the person that you're using.
Right.
And yeah, and then you see everything that they're supposed to be doing right there, and that's what I use.
Yeah.
And I do that for myself as well. So you know, it's such an easy way to get a snapshot of what things are going on for that particular person that's handling the task, or you could just do all and it shows you everything. But and it lines through all, you know, you can check here that it's done, and then it reflects back to the checklist as well. So it's very simple to use. We use it a lot.
Yeah, and there's a couple of questions about this. So what's the difference between a task and a checklist? So the checklist is going to be, you know, a lot of different things to complete an overall goal of something, right? To complete that transaction, where you can have those certain tasks be assigned to some of either yourself or to another agent of yours in your Wise Agent account. So then when they log in every morning, which everyone should be logging into their CRM every single morning. When they come in, they can, and this is just arranged where I have my commission report here, my calendar, but I can see what's on my task. And now I can come in here, and let's say I'm Rachel Green. I can see that, you know, today I have to follow up with this person. I can do this, or I need to do that. Right. So I can just come in here and just start working on things, and I don't have to be, you know, have a piece of paper with lists or post-it notes all over my desk of what I need to do. It's all in here for me. So that's what the difference between that is. So let's see, I know there was a question back to the leads showing up. Would they be categorized in some way? So when I posted that landing page, not to be hopping back and forth, but so I posted the landing page, this page on Facebook, and the lead filled out the form. What happens then? Those rules go out. What happens to that contact? Well, what would happen is the contact would then be added into Wise Agent, and it will be based on that source that you gave it. So I think ours was 123 Main Street here. So now I can see everyone that filled out this landing page. Of course, no one's filled that one out. So let's see this one, maybe, hopefully, God willing, someone's filled out. Nobody's filled out these landing pages. This is a test account, and this is what happens on a live demo, is that it's not prepared. But so someone fills out that thing, it comes in with that source of whatever you've named it. And then you can also tag it within your rules, and you can and then go in there and see that contact and whatnot. And I know there was a question earlier about Zip Forms Plus and .loop, if we do integrate with them. We do. So let's say I've talked to this Tom Brady, came in, he filled out my form. Look at that. And now I want to start a transaction. And I think, Lindsay, you use the integration with Zip Form Plus?
We do. We use Zip Form, and then we coordinate that with Docusign. That's what we do for all of our transaction flow. Yeah. And so what happens is you go to, you set up your client and go to their summary, and then you hit the Zip Form transaction. It'll ask you whether it's buyer or seller. And so you fill out that little block of information, and then that will enable you to go back to Zip Form, and that will be set up with all the information already populated for you, and makes it real simple. So you don't have to worry about typing all that stuff in. So makes it real nice. And then of course we flow it on into Docusign. That's who we use. I do have my TC is, she's trained on Docusign and .loop, and I think that's it. But she's used both, so I don't know anything about .loop, but she takes care of that and she loves it.
Yeah. So you can start a loop from here. You can send files over through Docusign through here. So we have great integration with all three companies. So we are one of the most integrated CRMs out there. I love doing integrations. It's something that I kind of specialize in. That starts over here at my desk, and we try to really make Wise Agent more enhanced using some of our integrated partners. So so that's how that works. I know that we have a few more questions here to get to. Do all the items on the checklist that I may be assigned to appear on my task list? So they can, if that's how you set it up. So in here, when you create the template, right? So we're in the template portion of it. This is where you would say, add to the task list, yes or no. So this is kind of like, if you don't want a particular task being on the task list, then you don't have to show it there. So that's how that works. So you have the flexibility to do that how you see fit.
I would highly suggest that you add it to your task list. It's just easy every day, and the task list just it's easy for everybody to see as opposed to going to the checklist. Like I said earlier, you can call that task list up and go through it in 5 seconds and see what everybody needs to be doing.
Yeah.
Or you can see for yourself, what you need to be doing.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my goodness, I think I've answered all the questions, but I'm going to be honest, folks, there was a lot of them, and I hope I didn't skip around, but I think there's a question here, where do you find the short tutorials again? So that's a great question, because in case I didn't answer your questions, please feel free to reach out to us. So you can click on this help drop down here, and you can go to the video tutorials. And this is where you'll see all of our, so here's Brandon, our CEO and founder. You can watch his welcome video to you. You can watch, I love, one of my favorite videos is the power of Wise Agent. And this is about a 15-minute video. I don't know if you all are familiar with YouTube and that you can watch things on double time. I watch everything on YouTube on double time because I'm just that type of person. But what you can do is you can watch it on double time, pause it, and then change it back to single time and slow it down to where you want it to be. And this kind of shows every feature and all the functionalities that we have within Wise Agent, right? In condensed 15 minutes. And then there's just everything else in here, how to create a drip campaign, how to set up your email branding, how to add a letter, landing pages, how to use our texting feature, how to set up our texting feature, so on and so forth. So feel free to use that. I will also, I know we're running out of time here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can type for a second. I'm going to also post, if I can figure this out, if I could see better, I'm going to post in here, you know, our phone number and our email, so you guys can, you know, call us, email us if you have any questions. Of course, if you're not currently using Wise Agent, please visit wiseagent.com to sign up. And you know, you get 14-day free trial. You get a getting started session free. That's a one-on-one getting started session. I think that was a question earlier. I may have typed that one out, but there's a getting started session that you actually have just one individual, you know, one of our staff with you, or, you know, your whole team that will talk to you and help you set up Wise Agent per your business model. And that is included as well. You get 14-day free trial, and yeah, and all the support that you could possibly ask for. So we have training and support, you know, that happens throughout the week. And the support is 24/7, like Lindsay mentioned earlier. So I hope you guys reach out and try it out, and yeah, ask us any questions. Did you have something else, Lindsay, you wanted to add? While I type in?
Yeah, I was going to just talk real quick about the summaries for the contacts.
Mhm.
You know, we talked about populating that property. Obviously, you would populate your customer summary, but spend some time. What we've done, we've spent a lot of time, and we do it regularly, on putting in the categories or the tags for each customer. And you know, you don't have to get too wild with it, but you know, you can go through there and plug in categories, make up your own categories of what kind of customer you have, what their interests are. You know, you can do all kinds of stuff, and then you can just call those up and sort them. But the reason I say that is that you know, things change, and I think it's a good idea for you to go through your client summaries, you know, monthly, and just you know, just flip through them real quick and make sure that you've got them ranked. You know, you obviously want to be able to pull up your high A+ customers at any time and make sure that you're taking care of them. And the other thing is that when you're emailing, you know, you email by the category. So if you've got just my A+ customers, or you know, obviously the people that we've done business with in the year that are clients, and makes it real easy to shoot an email out to those people and fill in, you know, you can fill in their placeholders for their first name and all that. But if you don't have those categories set up right, you won't be able to do that. If you have them set up right, you know, it's so fast, and you can send emails out to all these folks for anything. You know, you can rank your customers, you can do all kinds of things. But you know, the thing about CRMs is speed. So you know, you don't want to become it's not your job your job is to sell, and not to use your CRM as your hobby. You know, it's there to work for you. And so spend some time on getting it all set up. And that's not something you just do once. You know, you do that over a period of every month.
Yeah, that was perfectly said. Very well said. And thank you for that, Lindsay. I mean, I think, you know, using a CRM is really important nowadays, especially keeping, you know, just keeping yourself really organized. I'm a huge proponent of that. I love organization. It's not because I work here, but I do. That's just my background, and that's just the personality that I have. Is I have a list for everything. So the checklists are something that I like live off of every single day. And then my task list, my call list, all of that, which is something that I feel very strongly about, that everyone should be using it to keep yourself organized. When you guys are busy and you know, you don't want to be busy and disorganized, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. And so, yeah, using a CRM is a great way of keeping yourself fully organized to keep moving forward and growing your business. One thing I did want to mention, I did post that we have a promotion going on right now. So if you, anytime that we're on these webinars, if you're wanting to try out Wise Agent and get, you get your 14-day free trial, but then you also get a month free of texting. And so if you go to wiseagent.com/wisesocial, you can register there and get an account and start working and start getting organized and growing your business. So it's a perfect time of year to do it, right before the new year. So then January rolls around, you guys are already organized and getting things running for the new year. So I hope that all that information helps. Lindsay, I think this was a great conversation. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for sharing like all of the information that you did today and sharing your time with us. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone else out there that joined us today, either live or on the recording. I appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in today, and I wish you all a happy holidays. If I know so the next 2 weeks, we're not going to be doing a webinar. I might pop in on a Facebook Live in our community just to maybe give a couple of updates on some things. But I'm not going to be having a webinar the remainder of the year, but we're going to be back January 7th. And it's going to be fabulous. We're going to be talking all about what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about, increasing your productivity using a CRM. So I have Mark Cod is going to be joining us, and he from HomeSmart, and he is out of, I believe, Scottsdale or Gilbert area here in Arizona. And he's going to be talking a lot about how he's increased his productivity using a CRM. So I'm excited for that one. All right, everyone. Happy holidays. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yes. Merry Christmas. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. See you.